Hey man, let me tell you something. I had to learn the hardest way possible. Impatience with women will cost you more than you ever realize in the moment. Back then, I thought being quick, being available, being on it the second she showed me interest was the right way to prove myself. I thought if I responded fast, showed my cards early, and made it clear how much I liked her, she would appreciate the honesty. But what I didn't understand was that women don't see impatience as sincerity. They see it as weakness. They see it as desperation. And instead of making them want you more, it gives them leverage, a weapon, something they can use against you without even thinking twice. My story is proof of this. There was a woman I once thought was the one. She had that dangerous combination of beauty and charm that pulls you in like gravity. The kind of presence that makes you rearrange your whole day just to get one smile from her. And I was naive. I thought every moment counted, that every delay in my response meant she'd lose interest, that if I didn't act fast enough, another man would swoop in and take her away. That was my first mistake. I treated the whole dynamic like a competition, and the only person I was competing with was myself. I rushed, I overinvested, I gave her too much too soon, and she could sense it in my every word, my every action. She knew I had no patience, and once she knew that, I was no longer the man in control. Patience with women isn't about waiting, it's about posture. It's about how you carry yourself when she pulls away, when she makes you wait, when she gives you mixed signals. A man who is patient shows her that he values his own time, his own emotions, his own worth more than he values chasing her approval. But me, I gave her everything at once. I texted first. I explained myself when she went quiet. I filled silences with nervous words, thinking I had to keep her entertained. I thought speed and effort would win her heart, but all it did was expose how desperate I was for her validation. And here's the ugly truth. The more you reveal your impatience, the more she loses respect. She began to notice. Women always do. At first, it was small things. Her replying slower, her throwing out little comments like, "Wow, you always text back so fast," with a smirk that cut me without me realizing it. That was the start of the shift. I thought it was harmless, but it was her way of clocking my weakness. And once a woman sees your weakness, she'll lean on it. Not because she's evil, but because her nature is to test what you're made of. When she saw I couldn't wait, that I needed her responses like oxygen, she started playing with time itself. Delays, excuses, pulling back just to see how fast I'd chase. And I chased every time. Looking back now, I can see how I destroyed my own value in her eyes. Patience creates mystery. It creates tension. It communicates abundance, like you've got options, like you're not in a rush because your life is already full. But my impatience screamed the opposite. Scarcity. I acted like she was the only woman on earth, like my whole happiness depended on her choosing me, and she used that against me. She made me wait longer, tested me harder, because she knew I couldn't handle it. My energy wasn't calm, my frame wasn't steady, my impatience told her everything she needed to know. I wasn't the man she thought I was in the beginning. This is the part that hurt the most. When she realized how easily I cracked under pressure, she started pushing further, canceling plans last minute just to see if I'd rearrange my life for her, dropping hints about other guys just to watch my reaction, saying things like, maybe we're not on the same page, just to see if I'd beg for clarity. And every single time, I did exactly what she wanted. I reacted, I explained myself, I rushed to close the gap. I had no ability to sit in silence, no ability to let her come to me, no ability to wait with composure. My impatience turned me into a puppet, and she was the one pulling the strings. The worst part? She didn't even have to ask me to change. I did it automatically, because impatience always comes with self-betrayal. I stopped living my life the way I wanted. I skipped workouts just to be available. I stopped focusing on my work because my mind was glued to her replies. I bent my schedule, my priorities, even my standards just to keep her happy. And every time I sacrificed myself, I thought it was love. I thought it was proof that I cared, but in reality, it was proof that I was broken inside, that I didn't value myself enough to wait. And a man who doesn't value himself is a man who will always lose. When you're impatient, you give away your power in silence. You don't even realize it's happening, but every second you wait by the phone, every time you double text, every time you break your own rules just to keep her attention, you're telling her exactly where your value stands. and women are experts at reading that energy. They'll smile at you, laugh with you, even tell you how sweet you are, but deep down, they're losing attraction. Because a man who can't sit with himself, who can't hold his frame, who can't wait without collapsing, that man can never lead her. And a woman will never respect a man she cannot follow. It took losing her to finally understand. When she left, she didn't do it with drama. She did it with silence. She faded out like she was never really there. And I was left broken, questioning everything. I replayed every conversation, every text. Every night I stayed up waiting for her call. And the truth slapped me harder than her leaving ever could. I had destroyed my own attraction by being impatient. I didn't lose her to another man. I lost her to my own lack of discipline. And the irony is brutal. Had I been patient, calm, detached, she probably would have stayed. But because I couldn't hold the line, she walked away. Now I tell this story, not because I want sympathy, but because I don't want you to go through the same pain. Women will always use impatience against you, whether consciously or unconsciously. They will test your ability to wait, to hold steady, to not crack under pressure. And if you fail, you lose everything: respect, attraction, love. But if you succeed, if you show patience, you gain more than just her attention. You gain her admiration, you gain her respect, you gain control of yourself. And that, my brother, is worth more than any fleeting rush of attention. Patience isn't just a tactic, it's a weapon. And if you don't master it, you'll always be broken by the game. What I didn't realize back then is that women are masters of time. They live in the space between moments. They don't just hear your words, they measure the rhythm of your actions. If you reply in 5 seconds, she registers it. If you reply in 5 minutes, she registers that too. To her, the timing of your energy matters more than the words themselves. I was blind to this subtle reality. Every instant response told her, I have nothing better going on. You are my priority above everything else. But here's the catch. When a woman feels like she's your entire world too soon, she stops respecting you. She doesn't want to be your whole world. She wants to enter a man's world that's already complete without her. That's the paradox that destroys so many men. The more impatient you are to secure her, the faster she slips through your fingers. The more you rush to prove yourself, the more she doubts your worth. My impatience became a trap, because every time she pulled away, I ran faster. And every time I ran faster, she slowed down even more. It's like she had the remote control to the relationship, and my impatience was the battery that kept it alive. I was too blind to see it back then, but now I understand. Women test men through time. They want to know if you can wait. They want to know if you can stay grounded when they pull back. And the man who can't, he's finished before it even begins. I'll never forget one night in particular. We had plans. I cleared my whole schedule, dressed sharp, showed up at the restaurant early. I waited 10 minutes, 20, 30, an hour. Finally, she walked in, no apology, just a smile that disarmed me instantly. And instead of calling her out, instead of holding my ground, I just melted into that smile and acted like it was no big deal. Why? Because impatience had eaten my backbone alive. I thought that if I demanded respect, she'd leave. I thought that waiting silently was better than risking her walking away. But all I did was teach her that she could waste my time and I'd still be there when she was ready. That's when I realized impatience isn't just about texting too fast. It's about being too quick to forgive disrespect. That moment broke something inside me. I could feel the power dynamic shift completely. She knew I would never walk away. She knew I needed her more than she needed me. And once a woman knows that, the game is over. Because here's the harsh truth. Most men refuse to face. Women don't respect men who can't walk away. They don't admire men who bend and break just to keep them. They might tolerate you. They might even use you for comfort, but they will never give you their full respect or loyalty. And without those, love is impossible. What I thought was being patient by waiting around was actually the opposite. It was impatience disguised as weakness, because I was afraid to lose her. When a man is truly patient, it doesn't mean he tolerates disrespect. It means he values himself enough to wait for the right energy, the right moment, the right treatment. True patience is strength. It's sitting back when she takes her time, without losing your center. It's not over-explaining when she gets distant. It's letting her chase clarity instead of you chasing her approval. I lacked that. I couldn't sit in silence without panicking. I couldn't let her wonder what I was thinking without rushing in to fill the gap. And that impatience robbed me of the one thing women truly crave in men: mystery. Mystery is born out of patience. It's in the unanswered text. It's in the pause before you respond. It's in the calm way you handle her tests without flinching. But me? I gave her full access to my emotions every single time. She never had to wonder what I was thinking because I spelled it out. She never had to question if I'd still be there because I always was. My impatience made me predictable, and predictability is poison to attraction. She didn't have to lean in because I was already leaning in for both of us. She didn't have to invest because I had invested for both of us. And when the balance tips that far, there's no coming back. That's why she started pulling away harder. It wasn't because she didn't like me anymore. It was because she knew I would never leave. And when a woman knows you'll never leave, she stops fearing the loss of you. That fear of loss is what drives attraction. It's what makes her respect you. It's what makes her chase you. Without it, you become safe, comfortable, predictable. You become her emotional pillow, not her challenge. And once you're the pillow, you're no longer the prize. That's exactly where I landed. I became her emotional safety net, but never the man she truly desired. I wish I could tell you I recognized this right away, but I didn't. I kept doubling down, thinking that more effort, more speed, more energy would win her back. If she took an hour to reply, I'd reply in seconds. If she cancelled plans, I'd suggest new ones instantly. If she seemed distant, I'd pour my heart out to pull her close. I thought I was fighting for love, but really I was just fighting against myself. Because every time I moved out of impatience, I pushed her further away. I became the exact opposite of the man she was drawn to in the beginning. And here's the irony, brother. The man she fell for at first wasn't the impatient one. It was the calm, grounded version of me. The one who was focused on his purpose, who didn't rush, who wasn't glued to his phone, who let her wonder where she stood. That was the man she wanted. But once I let impatience take over, that man disappeared. She saw through me. She saw my insecurity. She saw the cracks in my frame. And once that happens, attraction dies silently, slowly, like a flame starved of oxygen. You don't even notice until you're standing in the dark, wondering where it all went wrong. Looking back now, impatience wasn't just my downfall, it was the lesson I needed most. Women will always test you with time, with space, with silence. They do it not because they're cruel, but because it's in their nature to seek a man who can hold his ground. If you're impatient, they'll see it, they'll feel it, and they'll use it to measure you. And if you fail, they'll never unsee that weakness. That's the harsh truth. My impatience cost me her respect, her love, and my own self-worth. But it also woke me up. It showed me that if I don't master patience, if I don't master silence, if I don't master myself, I will always be broken in the game of love.